Welcome back, investors, to Ticker Time News. I'm Adam, and here we are back for another Catalyst Watch video for what's coming up this week. What am I watching? Why am I watching it? And what could happen? What stocks are set to move? We're going to talk about all of that in this live stream. So welcome back. Glad you're here with me. Now, investors are heading back for a second trading week, or the second trading week of the year. And there are some indicators that the valuation reset is underway. We're moving away from high growth, high PE stocks, and it looks like that could continue this week. The divide between growth stocks and value stocks is getting bigger. Now, on the economic calendar, we have consumer prices, or the CPI data, and producer prices, PPI data, which is input prices for people who are creating things. Those two data points will make headlines this week and move the markets. We get the biggest retail event of the year, the ICR conference. We'll talk about that in a little bit. On the individual stock level, we have Samsara, Tilray, Jack in the Box, AMD, KB Homes, Taiwan Semi, and big banks reporting earnings on Friday. Now, right now, in the futures market, they are down slightly. The Dow and the S&P 500 are down 0.2%, and the NASDAQ is down 0.1%. Now, this fluctuates all through the evening, and it does not necessarily mean the market will open at these levels, but it's a good indicator of where the market is at and what it's thinking at this very specific moment in time. Now, the stock market right now is in an uptrend under pressure. That's how I would describe it. If we look at the SPX ticker symbol on TradingView here, this tracks the S&P 500, and you can see we have been in an uptrend all last year. We were up 27% on the year, but now we are starting to fall a little bit, and we're sitting right here on this 50-day moving average, and that's very important. So that's why I say we're in an uptrend, but it's under pressure. If we break that 50-day moving average, then that could be a very negative sign. Now, the S&P 500, like I said, it's sitting on that 50-day moving average right now. Now, I would like to remind you, when it comes to the 50-day moving average, a simple phrase will help you, and this works for any equity in the market. Bearish above, I'm sorry, I said that backwards. Bullish above, bearish below, all right? 50-day moving average. If an equity is above, that's bullish. If an equity is below, that's bearish. So 50-day moving average, bullish above, bearish below. Remember that phrase. That will help you in your investing journey. So investors, with this market environment we are in, should recalibrate their expectations and respond accordingly to how the market is moving. Now, Catalyst Watch drops every Sunday evening. We took a little break during the holidays, but we are back every Sunday evening. So make sure you are subscribed to get the right information at the right time to make the right investment decisions. We're just here to help everybody along their investor journey. Now, with stocks selling off one day, gaining the next, mixed in between, it is a very chaotic environment right now. The growth and value stock divide is widening. This divide is best represented by the Russell 3000 Growth Index. The ticker symbol is RAG. That fell 4.8% last week, while the Russell 3000 Value Index, ticker symbol RAV, that actually gained 0.5%. So wouldn't it be great to know what the top 10 stocks are in categories like value and growth, dividend, and momentum? Well, great news. We just uploaded our top 10 stocks list for each of those 4 categories. That's over 40 high-quality stocks ready to choose from that are constantly updated. So you always have the best names available. So click the first link in the description and become a member to get instant access to our top 10 value, growth, dividend, and momentum stocks and so much more. We've done the research so you don't have to. Okay, let's move on to what's happening this week and what catalyst we can look forward to. One of the biggest retail events of the year takes place this week in Florida with the annual ICR conference. The event is known for seeing a frenzy of guidance updates as companies set their outlook for the year. Retailers to watch for presentations and press releases include American Eagle Outfitters, ticker symbol AEO, Abercrombie and Finch, ticker symbol ANF, Boot Barn, ticker symbol BOOT, Crocs, ticker symbol CROX, Lululemon, ticker symbol LULU, On Holdings AG, ONON, and the last one, I know this is a long list, Urban Outfitters, ticker symbol URBN. Those are the retailers I think you should be watching the most for any type of news that comes out and guidance, revisions on their guidance. Up, down, what are they doing? What do they think is going to happen in 2022? All right, let's move on to specifically Monday, January the 10th. And we have Samsara. Ticker symbol is IOT for Internet of Things. This is a company we did a video on right before their IPO, so they haven't been public very long. But analysts, the quote, analyst quiet period, it expires on Monday. So I would expect a flood of analyst upgrades, downgrades for Samsara. So when the analyst quiet period ends, basically from IPO, from the day the company goes public, for a period of time, analysts cannot write anything about the company. So when the analyst quiet period ends, all that means is analysts can now start their coverage, make it public at least, because they've already done their research, but they can make it public. That's why it's important when those quiet periods end for IPO companies. So tomorrow will be a big day for Samsara, or it could be a bad day. It all depends on what the analysts have to say. Are they going to upgrade, downgrade? What do they think of Samsara? Now, like I mentioned, I did a video on Samsara the day before their IPO. I'll put the link in the description after I'm finished the live stream here, or you can just go to our YouTube page and check that out, Ticker Time News. I dove in pretty deep on Samsara and what they do. Now, watch that if you have some time. You don't have to. Now, Samsara, they pioneered the Connected Operations Cloud, a platform that helps businesses in the logistics, construction, transportation, or even energy industries tap into data captured by Internet of Things devices. So they are a pretty special company. I actually like this company long term. Right now, new companies, growth companies, IPOs, software, they're getting beat up in the market. Everybody's going for value right now, or banks even. But I'll talk about banks in a moment. Now, the Internet of Things stock, it is trading slightly below its IPO pricing right now at $23.22. It was up 1% on Friday. So maybe it's trying to find a floor around that $21, $22 area. All right, next up on Monday, we have Canadian cannabis giant Tilray, ticker symbol TLRY. Now, Tilray posts their Q2 earnings on Monday. Now, if we look, this stock has gotten beat up. Look at this. Over the past year, it's been in a downtrend. Could this be the bottom for Tilray? It's at $6.42. Could we be finding a bottom here? Maybe, maybe not. But anyways, on Monday, their Q2 earnings, they have an estimated EPS at a loss of 7 cents. with revenue of $171 million. Now, analysts currently have Tilray set to underperform with a price target between $10 and $11. So that's still some upside from where it is right now. So you might want to stay clear of this one until it gets past its earnings, because it could be a very volatile Monday for Tilray. Now, long term, though, it's worth watching as MJ becomes legal in different countries around the world. So definitely keep it on your radar for that. Next up on Monday is Jack in the Box. Remember the big retail event that's happening? Well, restaurants get involved with the ICR conference as well. Now, Jack in the Box, their ticker symbol is Jack, JACK. Now, Jack in the Box made some news a little while ago. You can see it here on the stock chart. These big red candles back at the beginning of December, but they present at the ICR conference. Now, management will have an opportunity to highlight the upside or benefits of the Del Taco, and their ticker symbol was TACO, Taco, from that acquisition, after some analysts questioned the rationale of the deal. Jack's buying a $575 million taco in cash. Yeah, that's a lot of money for a taco. Can these two brands fit together? Now, I also did a video on this when the acquisition announcement was made. I'll put a link in the description after the live stream is over. It's a good video. Check it out if you have some time. Okay, Tuesday, January the 11th, and we've got AMD in the spotlight. Ticker symbol AMD, which is Advanced Micro Devices. Now, they've been almost in this specific range here for a couple of months. Now, they had a pretty decent, I would say, 2021, starting off flat, but then they built up some real momentum heading into the second half of the year. Now, AMD is in the spotlight because the HSR deadline for AMD and their planned purchase of Xilinx, ticker symbol XLNX, well, it expires. So the deal right now, according to AMD, is awaiting approval from Chinese antitrust authorities. And if it's not approved by January the 11th, then a new HSR filing will have to be made. So this is key to watch. If the approval goes through, then AMD stock should jump on the news. However, it could be iffy if the deal doesn't go through and they have to delay it again and refile in HSR. Then the stock, it could go down or just stay flat. It's a really tricky one because when AMD and Xilinx had to, at the end of December, push their deadline back into 2022, the stock took a hit and dropped. Same thing with Xilinx, because I'm guessing Xilinx investors thought that this pushback meant the deal wasn't going to go through. I think the deal is going to go through. It's just taking a little longer. So watch carefully on January the 11th for whether or not AMD has to refile in HSR or if the deal is going through. How you doing? Glad to see you in the chat. Glad to see you watching. Hope you're doing good in 2022. Awesome. All right. Now, I did a video on AMD and Xilinx. I'll put a link in the description after the live stream is over. I should have done that beforehand. Wasn't thinking. But you can go to our YouTube channel and watch the video on that. I do think the deal is going through. All right, on Wednesday, January the 12th, we get a read on inflation with the latest CPI data. Now, the CPI data, that always moves the market. Now, market participants are bracing for another historically hot reading on inflation. On a year-over-year basis, consumer prices are likely to surge 7.1% in December. 7.1% on a year-over-year basis for December. That is big inflation, really big inflation. And quite frankly, we don't need a report that the Fed can pick and choose what's in it and what's not in it to know that inflation is up. We see it every day for any store, for anything we try to buy. Prices are up. So this 7.1% jump in December, that is a big jump from November's 6.8% year-over-year reading. This would make December the fastest rate climb since 1982, when CPI rose as much as 8.4% on a year-over-year basis. Now, those numbers look big and scary. On a month-over-month basis, however, consumer prices are expected to rise by 0.4% in December. That's down from November's 0.8% rise, but still marking an 18th consecutive month of increases. So, you know, the CPI data, whether you believe what's in it or not, it will move the markets. Also, KB Homes, ticker symbol KBH. There we go. KB Homes, they report their earnings. Now, they are range bound. They have got a floor of about $39, $38, and they are sitting right on that floor right now. They have a ceiling of about $44 to $45, and they've been bouncing around in that area for nearly a year now. But their earnings, they have an estimated EPS of $1.77 with revenue of $1.71 billion. Now, last time, supply constraints were a problem. I suspect supply constraints will still be a problem this time around. But the plus side of this supply problem is that these conditions will force KB Homes to slow its delivery pace, allowing for a more extended revenue stream. With the stock down 24% from its highs from last May and sitting at the bottom of its price range right now, any possible negativity from earnings may be priced in. So keep that in mind. It was a big 5% drop on Friday of last week. So they may have already been pricing in earnings. And again, that happens on Wednesday. On Thursday, January 13th, we also get a reading from the Producer Price Index, or the PPI. Month over month, we're expecting 0.4% for December, down from November's 0.8%. Nearly the same as the CPI data. Now, the producer price index is for input costs. So we'll know whether or not inflation, because this is where we'll see inflation first, start to slow down or not. Okay? All right. Also on Thursday, we get Taiwan Semiconductor. Ticker symbol is TSM. Now, they also report their earnings, and they have been range bound for a year now also. They have a floor of about 108 to 110 and a ceiling of about 120 to 122. Range bound. Taiwan Semi, range bound. That's just crazy to me. Now, their earnings report, they have an estimated EPS of $6.21 on revenue of $436 billion. Options trading on Taiwan Semi implies a swing in share price of 6.2% after the numbers drop. Now, if we measure where it's sitting at right now, and it's right at the top of its ceiling, and we measure, oh, I thought I clicked on it, and we measure from the top of its ceiling down to its floor, well, that's a 12% move. If we go find this 6.2% move, that puts us right around here, which is about halfway through its range. That matches up, if you ask me, because there's a midway point on their range bound that they're in that they use sometimes as support, sometimes as resistance, right around $114 to $115, and that's about 6% from where it is right now. That's interesting to me. I really don't think the swing is going to be outside of this range. I would hope that it would be, but we'll have to see how the rest of this week plays out because we've got several days. Maybe it gets priced in. We'll have to watch that one. But it's one, I don't know why this one hasn't broken out already. It should have broken out of this range. All right, Taiwan Semi, as I've been saying, has been range bound for a year, and it's currently sitting at the top of that range. There are a number of macro tailwinds that will continue to push demand for Taiwan Semi throughout 2022. Just think of high performance computing, the switch to electric vehicles and the automotive industry, and Internet of Things. Those three things are big trends for 2022 and should definitely help Taiwan Semi move the stock to the upside. All right, let's move on to Friday, January 14th, and we've got the big banks reporting. First one I'm going to mention is JPMorgan. Their ticker symbol is JPM. Now, JPMorgan, it's been kind of flat and range bound itself here for the second half of 2021 into 2022. Going back to May of last year, it's got a bottom somewhere around $150, $155 because it is slightly going up, ever so slightly, but it's really got a lid on it. It's really got a lid right around $170, and it's a few dollars shy of that right now. Now, their estimated EPS is $3.06 with revenue of $29.69 billion. Banks should do very well in 2022. But the bank that I like, big banks that is, the big bank that I like the most that also reports on Friday is Wells Fargo. Ticker symbol is WFC. Now, Wells Fargo, it's not as much as range bound as JPMorgan is. And it's definitely had a rally in 2022. And if we measure this, I mean, it was up 2.1% on Friday. From January 3rd, this is last week. I got to move this out here. Last week, JPMorgan was up 12.7. I'm not JPMorgan. Wells Fargo last week was up 12.7%. This is a bank that I think will do very, very well in 2022. Now, they have an estimated EPS of 99 cents with revenue of $18.62 billion. So you can see Wells Fargo is not nearly as big as JPMorgan, which gives it room to grow. Now, of course, Wells Fargo had some bad history, but I think we're getting past that now. And out of the big banks, Wells Fargo, to me, has the best risk-reward ratio, and many analysts give it an outperformance rating. But think about this. When it comes to bank stocks for 2022, because bank stocks are going to do well in our current environment with the rising rates, I prefer regional banks for 2022, not necessarily the big banks. And here's an example. Just last week, regional banks outperformed. They were up 9.19% for the week, while big banks were up 7.6% for the week. That 2% gain is really nice to have. And I think regional banks will continue that outperformance over big banks for 2022. So far, this year in 2022, we have energy in a number one spot again, like it was throughout 2021. So I think energy will do very well this year. It will outperform. But regional banks, banks in general, financials right now are in second place behind energy. So they're definitely going to have, I think, an outperformance on the year. Also on Friday, Monster Beverage Corporation, ticker symbol MNST. They hold a virtual investor meeting to provide an update on the company's business and operations. Monster is expected to post a positive outlook for 2022. I mean, beverage stocks have been on a roll lately. Look at this. From December the 1st, it hit this bottom here and it rallied. How much was this? Let's see how big this rally was. December 2nd to its peak up here would be 22%. A 22% rally in the month of December. Now, of course, it's been cooling off, though, now that we're into January, which isn't surprising after a run like that. So, I believe investors have gone through a valuation reset. And I think that's where we are right now in the market. To wrap this up, the market right now is resetting valuations so they can run in 2022. Otherwise, we get ourselves in bubble territory. We get too wobbly, too top heavy. So we need a valuation reset. So that's why you need to be smart with where you're putting your money. What themes are you investing in for 2022? What stocks and companies are you investing in? What sectors are you investing in? What technologies are you investing in? You have to be smart in 2022. In 2020, after the crash in March of 2020, it was very easy. You could throw a dart at a list of stocks and everybody was a winner because the majority of stocks rallied throughout the rest of 2020. We had the pullback in September, October. And then last year, same thing applied. We had a rally to start the year. We had a cool off period. We rallied, cooled off, and then rallied into the close of the year. But now in 2022, it's going to be a little more difficult. And that's why we all need to work together, share ideas, and help one another along. And that's exactly what we are here for, to help everyone reach financial freedom. So as I wrap this up, let me just say, this is what I'm watching for the week. What catalyst are you watching for this week? Let me know in the comments below. And remember, your comments, they make these videos so much better. Now, if you found this video helpful, informative, actionable, then click the first link in the description. But before you do that, click the like button. That lets YouTube know you found this video to be informative. Take the link and share it. That lets other people know that you thought this video was helpful. And then click the first link in the description to get our top 10 value stocks, growth stocks, dividend stocks, and momentum stocks. They're constantly updated, so you always have the best names. All right, we'll go ahead and wrap this video up here. Remember, we're here every day the market is open around 5 p.m. Eastern for the After Hours show, where we talk about stocks, we talk about crypto, and we talk about the most important thing, what's on your mind. And right quick, before I do wrap this up, I just want to check in on Bitcoin. BTC USD on the chart. I don't have this in as a catalyst watch for this week, but it's interesting to me. Now, we have this trend. I'm going to take the volume and hide that for just a moment. Now, we have this trend line down here, right? And it's a very important trend line for Bitcoin because it's the lowest trend line that Bitcoin has been staying above. Whenever it hits rock bottom, it hits this trend line and reverses. Right now, we seem to be getting a very, very slight reversal here. At least we've stopped falling, I could say. We hit a low of 40,571. Then we hit a low of 40,505. Then a low of 41,209. And then today's low was 41,600. So we're slowly improving each day over the past couple of days. It's going to be very interesting to see how this week progresses. It seems like there are a lot of buyers stepping in when Bitcoin gets to 40,000, 40,600, 40,500, 40,400. And all of those people who saw Bitcoin at 69,000 and said, boy, oh boy, would I like to get in. But they waited. I'm going to wait for a lower price. I know this thing is going to cool off and pull back. So I'm going to wait. Now they're jumping in. They're jumping in when Bitcoin's in the 40,000s. That's what I see. And it moving up along this trend line for me, it's an important next step. All right, so that's what I want to say. Thank you for your input. Smart investing. Let's not get hurt. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think more slow bleeding for Bitcoin is coming. It's a possibility. I'll give you that. Anything is possible in the market. But this 40,000 area may be as low as 39,000. I'm really seeing some buying occur at those levels. And if I put the volume back on here, you can see today volume is really, really light. And that's why the price really hasn't moved that much today on Bitcoin. We're looking at 1.6 million today on volume, while the average volume for Bitcoin is 14.6 million. So that's a big drop in volume. And then yesterday, what was the volume? 11 million with, it looks like 15 million was the average. So a big drop off in volume. And I think that is more smart money in Bitcoin than maybe young investors who, when it's falling, get a little nervous. Now, looking at Ethereum, ETH USD, just real quick, and then we'll wrap this up. Ethereum is also down here on this trend line, but for Ethereum, it's not their bottom trend line. They still have another gap they could go down, but they are also holding here on this trend line. That's a good thing. Volume has also fallen really low. So that means, to me at least, that a lot of the smart money is, I think, gaining control of the market again. Just my thought. Anything can happen. It is a stock market. It is crypto. Things move fast. And that's it. All right. So that's all I had to say for this week that I am watching. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have a very profitable week, and I hope you have a week full of education and learning and becoming a better investor, because that's what we're here for. Again, every day the market is open around 5 p.m. Eastern. We are here to talk about the market, stocks, crypto, most importantly, answer your questions. So I'll see you tomorrow around 5 o'clock, or I'll see you in the next video. So thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.